What's up, guys? It's Wolfgang back with another Dorkfish review, and I am stoked to bring you this review. Today we got the MOTU Chronicles, He-Man and Skeletor. Let's check them out. As you should already know, these figures are based around the new Masters of the Universe movie that just came out. Super fun watch. I definitely appreciated it, and I think you will too. So if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. We're going to get into these figures, but I don't think they really need an introduction. So we'll skip all the pleasantries and just get into the toys themselves. Alright, and starting with the boxes, we've got some really cool material. I like the open windows. I like that you put them together and you get He-Man and Skeletor facing each other. I like that on the sides you get He-Man and Skeletor. And then on the back, you get some nice product shot there. The other side as well, finishes off the picture. Very well done. Not a lot, but very well done. Also notice the deluxe articulation pose on each one of them. That's their updated model from what they used to make or what they normally would make for figures. I'm kind of hoping they use this model and upgrade it moving forward for their DC line. Now let's look at the accessories. Alright, and for accessories, these figures don't come with a lot. Starting with He-Man, we get his power sword. And I do like the plastic. I like the way it's done. It's not all swirly. It's very clean. The handle is, for the most part, clean. Kind of flat, but is what it is. You get 2 fist hands for punching, which are good. I like that. And then you get the hands and head that come on him in package. And that is really it. For Skeletor, obviously the hands and head you see on him. And then we get a fist hand for the left-hand side. Claws, well done on that. And then kind of a gesturing hand for the right-hand side. Which is great because if you see throughout the movie, he's grabbing people's heads, throats, arms, and there's a searing effect when he grabs them, so I like that. And then lastly, for Skeletor, you get his staff, and it looks great. I will say the wash on it, top notch. I really think it looks good. Now, accessory-wise, there's not a lot, which is a little bit frustrating. I kind of wish they came with more for He-Man, maybe another head and some stylized hands for holding back punches or for grabbing as well. And for Skeletor, I'm okay with the one closed fist hand, but I would really have loved some sort of magical effects and maybe another hand that's kind of that grabbing hand as well. I feel like they could have done some stuff like that with each one. So I think they under-delivered for what they could have. Now, what they did deliver is good. No issues at all. I don't think the quality was enough to justify the lack of quantity here. That being said, we're going to go into aesthetics. Alright, and getting into aesthetics, and I think they shine pretty well in certain areas. Overall likeness to the film, for their price point, I think they look pretty good. They're pretty spot on for me. The head sculpts are really good. I think the difference in the face on He-Man to the movie is more of a paint application thing than the actual sculpt itself. I think it's in all the right places. The cheekbone, the lips, the jaw, the brow, the nose. It's really down to shadowing and paint application to make certain details pop that did in the movie. But otherwise, great job. Bodies are kind of general in terms of musculature, although the He-Man one is fine. The Skeletor one is really the important one when you think about musculature as far as the details, because his body is a specific way, the way the movie did it. But the clothing is very well done. I do like it. The paint is not horrible. I love that they did a wash. This is something that we don't really get, even in the other Mattel figures. Like, I've got this Skeletor here, and there's some shading done, but they didn't do wash on his clothes. They did a wash on Skeletor and on He-Man. They made sure that details were done in there, like the stitching you can almost see in his pelt, and then the way it's washed so that you can see the stitching stand out. It's very well done. I like that a lot. Not to say that the line is perfect. When you look at He-Man's Battle Cat, There's some details in the armor that are not painted, like the buckles, which aggravate the crap out of me, which is why he's not in this review, is because I haven't picked him up. I haven't picked him up because I've been back and forth. I know he's a great figure articulated-wise, but there's some frustrations there with things they could have done at the price point he's at. Almost $50 for a figure that's not fully painted. It's hard to justify. But these two, I think, are pretty close to perfect in terms of what we got. We're going to start with He-Man. That being said, I like that the cross on top is a clear plastic separate instead of painted. The silver is great. The gold rivets around, fantastic. The armor on the arms, the wristbands, great. The gold all the way around. The only thing they miss is the buckles in the back. I wish they hadn't have done that. They did so great about getting it around to the hips, and then once they get dead flat to the back, they just get rid of that. I don't know why. That's dumb. They were doing so good because they even do the wash. The wash is all the way around on the belt, or not the belt. Well, yeah, on the belt actually, and on the boots, on the arms. I mean, the wash is all the way around, so it wouldn't have been that much more to just go ahead and paint the gold on there. So that's a dumb choice on there, and there is a slight paint variance in the skin to give him a little bit of a wash in his musculature. Nowhere near the amount that is on Skeletor. But then we get the face. I think it's pretty good. I like it. The depth of the hair, I think it's fantastic. Great job painting the hair. Yeah, for this cost, this is a really good paint job, with the exception of a few things. And the only thing aesthetically that bugs me, you've got the gap there. I wish they would have done something where this sat up or floated, because it's fixed. But otherwise, aesthetically, I don't have a lot of complaints. He's pretty dang good. Gets in a lot of good poses too, without sacrificing the look. So I'm happy there with He-Man. Now we get into Skeletor, and I am pleased to tell you that I was shocked with how good. If you heard that noise, my dog was drinking some water. She's thirsty. But I was happy with the look of Skeletor in the film, and I think this figure, in a lot of ways, captures it. There's some things that are a little aggravating, we'll say. But I look at the boots. See how it interchanges between that dark purple and black and a lighter purple? Really good. I love some of the musculature paint getting in there. You see the fibers. The thing that bugs me in the film, and this could be it's a test thing versus the original or the actual film itself, but the muscles here was kind of blue, white, blue. They did almost checkerboard in the film for his final look. Here on the figure, it just kind of looks like they threw powder white over the musculature that was carved. So that's wrong. I hate that. But the detail, the carving and the gauntlets, the jewel, again, being a separate piece, and the kind of dry brush over it. I like that the texture is done all the way down. You get this texture on the back here, and it's great. Now, I believe these rings should have been painted. So, if so, that's an issue. But the texturing is consistent. The only thing that's not is it's a different plastic maybe, so this is a little lighter when you see it under light, but otherwise you can't tell. Like off camera, you can't tell. It looks great. So it's consistent otherwise all the way around. Even the parts that they don't show, still painted and washed. Very well done. Maybe there could have been a difference in some paint and wash across all this to kind of distinguish this more like He-Man's is. That probably is the biggest miss, but good otherwise. You've got his mouth part, his eyes, the jaw moves. The bones inside of the jaw, I could go in with black and paint that and fix it, which I will probably do. It's an annoyance, but otherwise it's good. I know a lot of people were complaining about it, but I'm not really sure what you would have wanted them to do because, I mean, outside of them painting it, you couldn't have done anything because it needs to be there. It's a piece of plastic that helps hold the jaw together. So in that regard, it's good. I like that you see the blue underneath. I like that you're seeing, and if you point the mouth up, that is not a hollow spot. That's the neck actually painted black. Let me show you. The neck painted black, so that way when you put it on and you move that jaw, it creates that void. But you can only do that for so far down. And so I like that when you move this here, you've got that blue as if it's a skeleton showing what's underneath. So I like that. It's actually pretty well done in my opinion. Overall, aesthetically, Skeletor is great. I mean, his staff is so well painted. I think they did a really good job. I like that the gauntlets can float so that they can push up into the joints to kind of cover the joint and articulation when needed. Overall, I think they did a really good job. I cannot complain too much. Aesthetically speaking, I think they nailed the figures. All right, and articulation is only different in terms of the neck and head, and that is due to the cowl on Skeletor. So we're going to do a general overview of the entire articulation for both figures with He-Man, and then I'll just cover the head and neck with Skeletor after. So, articulation-wise, here's what we've got. Moving He-Man in, he is on a double ball peg. Whoop, there goes that. For his neck and head, it's kind of shallow, unfortunately. But mixing the neck, you get about that high up, decent enough down, somewhat to the side, somewhat to the side. Of course, you can look around, no problem. You can wiggle all you want. You get a butterfly joint. It's not really super effective on either. I'm not a big fan of their butterfly joint. They could probably use, you can see the peck is in the way there. They could probably use the same system as Jada Toys, just released with Balrog in them, and it would be great. But as it is for this, you've got that far back, but it doesn't really go that far back. So butterfly joint, useless. Arm goes up, no problem. All the way around. Bicep joint, simple enough. Double jointed elbow, moves in great. I love, again, we talked about an aesthetic, but I love that this floats and can choke up on the joint or move back so you can see it and use it. You've got the same pin and hinge as you would in Mezco. I say that because it is a pin and hinge, but it pegs into the hand like a Mezco instead of the other way around like a Marvel Legend. Now you've got your diaphragm, and it moves great. Side to side, well, I say great, it moves good. Side to side, not as good without the bottom part, but back, pretty dang decent. Forward, fair enough. It turns great at it, for me anyways. Same thing, the bottom, side to side, it's a ball joint. So mixing them, decent crunch, great spot back, side, but you get that gapping, and that's the trade-off. Great movement, but bad gapping. So a bit aggravated with that. Mondo is making a line here, same scale. I hope to see how they do things. I'm really looking forward to those. Splits, full up. This is where you get the issue. It didn't do a thigh cut, and you see how it's curved. Same on all of them, so it goes off to the side. But it goes up high. It's just off to the side. No thigh cut hurts my soul. The fact that any figure line at this scale, at this price point, doesn't have a thigh cut or a thigh articulation here, except for this, that is so bad. I don't know why they didn't do it, but especially considering this. Hold on. This figure, which was released before, thigh cut. Look at that. These guys, no thigh cut. What the hell? Anyways, double jointed knee. Fair enough. Boot cut. Ankle. Down all the way. It's a ball joint, ball and pin hinge. Up. Fair enough. And then pretty decent ankle rocker all the way around. That is across the board. This whole line is built like that. So before even getting to Skeletor, and Skeletor only has one difference, and that's the head and neck because of his hood. Overall, 8 out of 10. But where the hell is the thigh cut? I don't know why they didn't do that. and it bugs the crap out of me. It's so annoying, considering everything else they've done, right? Stupid choice. So stupid. So Mattel, hear me out. You're making these DC figures. You better put that die cut in, because if you don't, you're going to piss a lot of people off. Now, Skeletor. Only difference is the head. His jaw moves, opens and shuts, no problem. You kind of get a side, not really. You can turn it fine enough. Oh, it's rough. Down, not bad. Up, not bad. But you don't really get a side to side in terms of wiggle. So that's what it is. Other than that, his articulation is dead the same as He-Man's. So yeah, I'm going to say articulation-wise, I'm going to take the hood out of it, because it's not fair to judge based off of how they made it to make it aesthetically pleasing. 8 out of 10. Pretty good. But that thigh cut, I mean, the joint here, they cover Skeletor here, and he still moves the same as He-Man. So He-Man could have been covered better. That's an aesthetic problem. But both of them should have a thigh cut. And both of them, they kind of trade off. He's covered here, He-Man's not. Aesthetic problem. He-Man can move, he can't because of the hood. Aesthetic problem. No thigh cut. It's just a dumb choice, and I'm going to let it go now, because we're going to talk about scaling. All right, and kicking things off, we've got the 2 Chronicle figures next to a standard Masters of the Universe figure, Skeletor. And you can see a bit of the size difference in terms of musculature and a little bit of height difference. Not bad, but they're a touch smaller. And here they are with the Marvel Legends Gray Hulk. And I like this scale a lot. I think it looks pretty good overall. And here they are with the McFarlane DC Dark Knights Bane Deluxe. And while overall I don't hate the scale if it was the comic book Bane, because of the Bane it is, it just doesn't scale right. And most of McFarlane isn't going to scale right with this line. Is what it is. And in bringing this review to an end, overall I'm going to say I'm super happy with these figures. I think there's a lot of things they did right. And if these are the particular figures that measure up to what we're going to get from the DC figures starting next year, I'm ready for those. I'm excited. Now, I will say this. There are some things that could have been done better. Skeletor's jaw aesthetically not so great. I can't really complain too much about the movement of the head, the way they did the cape, cowl, and cloth over the top. I really liked. But the weirdest choice for me is a lack of thigh cut, even though they gave us a boot swivel. So I hope that they adjust that for DC. But overall, if this is what we're going to get out of the DC line, I'm ready. So, that being said, I'm going to bring this review to an end. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. I am slowing down on the amount of reviews I do consistently. It's just so hard to keep up, and I got a lot going on. But that doesn't mean I won't be bringing more to you in the future. So keep a watch. I still got some great reviews coming, like Turtle Van, Mega Man X, and so much more. Thank you for watching. Comment down below your favorite scene in the movie. Mine was Skeletor hopping into Jim Bro Skeletor and HR Skeletor. And, as always, I'll catch you later. Wolfgang's out. Peace, guys.